Lu Wei had never been particularly adept at handling life's little messes. If spilling coffee were an Olympic sport, he'd have won gold medals for every year since college. Today was no exception. As he stood in the conference room, eyes glazed over, listening to his boss drone on about synergy, Lu's hand trembled dangerously close to his mug. When he finally took a sip, the universe decided that it was the exact moment to send a text, causing him to jump like a startled cat. Hot coffee. Lu yelped, flailing as the dark liquid cascaded across the table like an amateur fountain show. It splattered his boss's crisp white shirt, turning him into an abstract expressionist painting. The room fell silent, all eyes on Lu, who, in that moment of sheer horror, found an unexpected burst of laughter bubbling up inside him. "Well, at least now you have a new flavor for your morning blend," he joked, attempting to lighten the mood. His colleagues stifled snorts, and even his boss's face twitched into a reluctant smirk, as if contemplating the possibility of laughing despite the coffee disaster. But Lu's fate had already been sealed. This was just the tip of the iceberg. Later that evening, while nursing his humiliation with a carton of overpriced takeout, Lu decided to take a stroll in the park to clear his mind. The chilly air nipped at his cheeks, and he pulled his jacket tighter around him, wishing he could do the same for his dignity. That's when he saw him, a figure clad in a flowing robe, illuminated by the soft glow of a nearby street lamp. The man looked like he had stepped out of a mystical fairy tale, complete with a long, white beard that would make Santa jealous. Lu blinked, wondering if the dim light was playing tricks on him or if he had wandered into an alternate reality where wizards gave out life advice instead of hosting holiday parties. "Ah, young man," the stranger called out, his voice like a warm cup of cocoa. "You are exactly who I was hoping to find. My name is Master Zhao, and you are about to embark on the sevenfold soul trials." Lu stared blankly, caught somewhere between disbelief and the absurdity of the situation. "Seven what now? Look, I just wanted to escape my job, not join a mystical reality show." Master Zhao chuckled, unfazed. "These trials will guide you to confront your inner demons and find true happiness. Embrace the journey, it will be enlightening." His eyes twinkled with a mix of mischief and wisdom. "Great," Lu muttered, scratching his head. "Just what I need, some old dude in a robe telling me to confront my demons. Can I just take a rain check on that?" But before he could turn back, a shimmering portal opened behind Master Zhao, beckoning him with swirling colors. Lu sighed, his curiosity piqued. "Well, I guess it's now or never. I'd rather face my demons than go back to that meeting." With a reluctant step forward, Lu plunged into the portal, his adventure beginning in a flash of light. He landed, not with the grace of a hero but rather in a heap on a colorful, squishy ground that felt suspiciously like marshmallows. As he untangled himself, Lu realized he was surrounded by figures wearing masks. They resembled the very stereotypes that plagued his day-to-day life: an uptight businesswoman, a hipster artist, a cheerleader, and an elderly man with a mustache that looked like a fuzzy caterpillar. "Welcome to the first trial, the facade," Master Zhao announced, materializing beside him. "Here, you must confront the masks you wear in society. Only by shedding your facade can you progress." Lu blinked at the absurdity. "You mean I have to go full-on emotional vulnerability in front of these caricatures? Fantastic." The masked figures began to circle him, chanting in a comically exaggerated manner, "Remove your mask. Show us your true self." The elderly man leaned forward, adjusting his mask. "You think you can hide behind humor? Show us your heart." Lu swallowed hard, the gravity of the situation weighing on him. "Fine, I'll give it a shot," he declared, his voice shaking. He reached up, grasped the edges of his mask, figuratively and literally, and pulled it off, revealing a face that mirrored his confusion, sarcasm, and a hint of genuine vulnerability. "Look," he said, forcing himself to be honest, "I'm just a guy trying to navigate this chaotic world. I don't have all the answers. I make jokes to cope, but sometimes it feels like a shield. Like right now, I want to run away." Laughter erupted from the crowd, and Lou felt a wave of relief wash over him. Instead of judgment, they resonated with his words, nodding in understanding. The businesswoman stepped forward, her mask slipping a little, revealing a glimmer of humanity. "You're not alone, Lou. We all wear masks. Thank you for showing us that vulnerability can be strength." As the masked figures began to remove their own disguises, the scene transformed into a vibrant tapestry of personalities, all laughing and sharing their stories. Lou felt lighter, more connected than ever. He had faced the trial and emerged unscathed, an unexpected hero of his own narrative. The shimmering portal appeared once again, and Lou stepped through, exhilarated by the realization that maybe, just maybe, facing his demons wasn't so terrifying after all. Emerging into the second trial, Lou found himself in a bizarre landscape resembling a warped version of his childhood. Everything was exaggerated, the trees were comically oversized, the clouds shaped like popcorn, and the ground squished underfoot like soft pudding. He spotted his younger self, a scrawny kid with oversized glasses, trembling in front of a massive, cartoonish dog that could have doubled as a bouncy castle. "No way," Lou gasped, recognition dawning. "That's Sparky. The dog that used to chase me home from school." Master Zhao materialized beside him, grinning. "To pass this trial, you must help your younger self face his fears." Lou cringed. "That's not just any dog, Master. That thing has teeth the size of my head." "Use humor and courage," Master Zhao encouraged, waving his hand dramatically. "Show him he is stronger than he knows." With a deep breath, Lou approached his younger self, who was frozen in fear. "Hey, kid," he shouted, trying to summon a playful energy. "What's the deal? Are you really going to let a dog run you off?" Younger Lou blinked up at him, confusion mingled with fear. "But it's huge." Lou crouched down, trying to make himself as small and non-threatening as possible. "Yeah, but what if we team up? We can outsmart him. How about a water hose? You know, get him all wet and slippery." "Who's the dog now?" "You think that'll work?" the younger Lou asked, skepticism etched on his tiny face. "Trust me, buddy. It's either that or getting chased home every day. Besides, if you can laugh at the fear, it loses its power." With newfound determination, the younger Lou grabbed the imaginary hose, and they both aimed it at Sparky. As they unleashed a torrent of laughter and imaginary water on the oversized dog, Sparky paused, bewildered. Lou felt a rush of exhilaration as the two of them giggled at their ridiculous antics. The tension lifted, and Sparky, in all his cartoonish glory, simply flopped onto his back, tongue lolling out in apparent joy. "You did it," the older Lou exclaimed, hugging his younger self. "You faced your fear, and look at that, Sparky just wanted to play." In a flash, the bizarre landscape faded, and Lou found himself back with Master Zhao, a grin plastered across his face. "That was kind of fun," he said, surprised by the sense of accomplishment that surged through him. "The trials will only become more challenging," Master Zhao warned, but there was a twinkle in his eye. "The next trial awaits." With that, Lou stepped into the third trial, entering a vibrant world that looked like a dating app come to life. Bright colors flashed around him as he stood on an enormous stage, surrounded by exaggerated dating tropes. A sign read, "Welcome to the dating simulation show." Lou's stomach churned. He had never been great at dating, his attempts usually ending in humorous disaster. "Welcome, contestant," a loud voice boomed from above. "Today, you will navigate a series of dates to discover the power of authentic connection." Lou gulped, spotting three characters: a quirky artist, a bubbly cheerleader, and a mysterious woman cloaked in shadow, each waiting for him with eager expressions. The stage was set, and his first date with the cheerleader began in an uproarious food fight, the two of them slinging spaghetti like it was confetti. Laughter erupted from the audience, and Lou felt the pressure of expectation. As the chaos unfolded, he realized he was trying too hard to be funny, and it was a disaster. Spaghetti stuck to his hair, and he tripped over a table, falling into a pile of whipped cream. The audience roared, but Lou could feel the awkwardness creeping in. "Hey! Why don't you just be yourself?" the artist called out, smirking while expertly dodging a flying meatball. "Less showman, more genuine connection." Lou paused, looking at the mess he had created, and a flicker of understanding ignited within him. Okay, he muttered. "Let's dial back the theatrics." With that, he switched gears. "So, what's your favorite movie?" he asked the cheerleader, genuinely interested. As the conversation shifted, laughter turned into shared stories. Lou found himself connecting with them, the fear of rejection melting away. The trio laughed together, finding joy in their imperfections. Lou learned that being genuine brought a warmth to the chaotic energy of the stage, transforming the absurd date into a heartfelt moment. When the trial ended, Lou felt lighter. He had navigated the ridiculousness and emerged victorious, realizing that authentic connections didn't require grand gestures, just sincerity and a good sense of humor. As he stepped through the next portal, Lou felt a sense of accomplishment and confidence building within him. The next trial awaited, but he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Lou stepped through the shimmering portal, his heart racing from the thrill of the last trial. He emerged into a landscape that felt different, a chaotic arena filled with oversized props and comically exaggerated versions of himself, each one representing a fear he had faced over the years. The towering, distorted versions were decked out in flashy costumes. One wore a pinstripe suit with a "successful businessman" badge, another donned an explorer's hat adorned with random gadgets, and yet another looked like a total couch potato, complete with pajamas and a bowl of popcorn. "Welcome to the fourth trial, fear of failure," Master Zhao announced, his robe flowing dramatically in an unseen breeze. "Here, you will confront the various versions of yourself that embody your deepest fears." Lou's eyes widened as the caricatures began to circle him, chanting in a mocking tone, "Fail. Fail. You will never prevail." "Wow, that's motivational," Lou muttered, rolling his eyes. He knew he had a complicated relationship with failure. Just last week, he had attempted to cook a fancy dinner for his friends, which resulted in a kitchen disaster and a very charred lasagna. The image of that burnt offering still haunted him. "Bring it on," he called out, trying to sound more confident than he felt. "What do you got?" The businessman stepped forward first, puffing out his chest. "You're afraid you'll never succeed, Lou. You think you can just joke your way through life?" Lou took a step back, glancing at the overwhelming number of eyes on him. "You know, I've got a few things to say to you, Mr. Success." He pointed at the businessman. "You're nothing but a stress ball in a suit. Let's see how well you handle failure." The businessman's smug smile faltered. Lou felt a surge of energy and began a mock competition that involved silly contests like who could make the worst spaghetti and an impromptu dance-off to music that didn't exist. Each failure became a source of laughter rather than shame. The crowd erupted with every failed attempt, and Lou began to realize that failure didn't define him. It was a stepping stone to something better. Next, the explorer version of himself stepped forward, brandishing a ridiculous assortment of gadgets. You'll never go on adventures. You'll always be stuck behind a desk. Lou smirked, feeling the adrenaline of the moment. Adventure? You mean like that time I got lost on a hike and ended up at a fancy wedding instead? I was the life of that party. He recounted the story, embellishing it for comic effect, highlighting how he had crashed the wedding and somehow ended up dancing with the bride. As he spoke, the crowd was enraptured, caught up in the humor of the situation. Lou felt a sense of liberation wash over him. Let's face it, the best stories come from the craziest experiences, not from perfectly planned vacations. Finally, the couch potato version stepped up, munching on imaginary popcorn. You just want to sit around and do nothing. You're too afraid to take risks. Oh please, Lou replied, crossing his arms. If you think I'm afraid of anything, then you haven't seen me try to dance. That takes guts. The crowd roared with laughter, and even the couch potato's mask slipped a little, revealing a hint of admiration. The trial culminated in a chaotic food fight, Lou against all the exaggerated fears. Instead of fighting them, he embraced the absurdity, pelting them with whipped cream and popcorn, laughing at the ridiculousness of it all. Each splat of cream represented a fear faced and conquered, and with every chuckle, Lou felt lighter. At last, when the arena erupted into a colorful mess of laughter, Master Zhao clapped his hands. You've done well, Lou. You faced your fears and learned that failure is merely a part of the journey. As the scene faded away, Lou found himself in a tranquil, almost ethereal setting. This was the fifth trial, where vibrant colors blended together, creating an atmosphere that felt both serene and unsettling. Floating orbs of light danced around him, casting gentle glows on the ground below. Lou took a moment to appreciate the beauty of the place, but that tranquility was short-lived. Before him loomed a giant, cartoonish monster that bore a striking resemblance to his own anger, a furry creature with wild hair and eyes that glinted with mischief. The creature growled softly, causing Lou to instinctively take a step back. Welcome to the trial of anger, Master Zhao said, his tone more serious. You must confront your anger and learn to control it, rather than let it control you. Lou sighed, recognizing this would be no easy task. Great, just what I needed, my inner rage monster. Fantastic. Face me if you dare, the monster roared, its voice echoing across the tranquil landscape. Lou could feel the heat radiating from the creature. It was a tangible manifestation of his pent-up frustrations from years of being ignored at work, feeling inadequate, and the coffee incident that had started it all. Okay, let's talk this through, Lou said, raising his hands defensively. You're just angry because you feel overlooked, right? We can figure this out without resorting to growling and roaring. The creature paused, tilting its head in confusion. You think you can talk me down? Why not? Lou shrugged. You've got some serious style with that fur and the growl, but honestly, it's just a mask for something deeper. He hesitated, then continued, I've been angry too, like when I missed my promotion because my boss thought I was just a joker. But what I've learned is that we can channel that anger into something productive, not destructive. The monster stared at him, eyes narrowing. And how do you propose to do that? By having a little fun. Let's turn this into a game. Lou shouted, determination flooding his veins. "I'll face you in a dance-off, and if you win, I'll let you eat all my leftover takeout. If I win, you have to promise to take a day off and just chill." To Lou's surprise, the anger monster chuckled, the sound reverberating in the air. "A dance-off? You think you can beat me?" "Absolutely. Let's show the world that even anger can have rhythm." Lou challenged, and the creature accepted, stepping back to allow space. With a beat that came from nowhere, Lou launched into a ridiculous dance, flailing his arms and moving his feet in the most absurd manner possible. The monster watched, taken aback, and slowly, it began to sway, caught in the infectious joy of the moment. "Come on!" Lou cheered. "Let loose. Let that anger out in dance." And then, just like that, the battle transformed into a dance party. They twirled, leaped, and spun in a hilarious display of joy, shaking off the anger that had weighed them down. Lou could feel the release, his laughter mingling with the creature's growls until they merged into something completely new, an understanding. As the music faded, the anger monster softened, its wild demeanor giving way to a calm, fuzzy form. "You have tamed me," it rumbled, "no longer a threat but a friend. Thank you for showing me the way." Lou smiled, feeling empowered. It's all about channeling that energy. We can't let anger consume us, we need to let it inspire us. With a grateful nod, the monster vanished, leaving Lou standing in a serene glade, filled with colorful flowers that swayed gently in a breeze. Master Zhao appeared beside him, clapping his hands with approval. "You have done well, Lou. You faced your anger and learned to embrace it. The next trial awaits." Eagerly, Lou stepped through the portal again, feeling a surge of confidence. This time, he entered a world filled with mirrors reflecting distorted images of himself, each one representing a different identity he had tried to adopt over the years. The air was thick with a sense of confusion, and Lou felt like he was in a carnival funhouse where nothing made sense. "Welcome to the trial of identity crisis," Master Zhao announced, gesturing to the funhouse mirrors. "Here, you will confront the various versions of yourself that you have tried to become." Lou glanced at the mirrors, each one revealing a different version of him: the successful Lou in a suit, the adventurous Lou with a backpack, the cool Lou wearing sunglasses and leaning against a motorcycle, and more. It was a bizarre showcase of his struggles with identity. "Oh boy," Lou muttered. "I'm about to have an identity meltdown." The successful Lou stepped forward, arms crossed, looking disdainful. "You'll never make it, Lou. You're just a clown in a suit." "Excuse me?" Lou replied, taken aback. "Have you seen my clowning skills? I could juggle my way into a circus." He reached for an imaginary set of juggling balls, tossing them in the air with flair. The audience erupted into laughter. Next, the adventurous Lou stepped up, rolling his eyes. "You think you can just sit behind a desk and pretend to be adventurous? You'll always be a nobody. Adventure is all about the spirit, my friend." Lou shot back, grinning. "I once got lost trying to find a bathroom during a hike and ended up discovering a hidden waterfall. Not everything has to be planned." The mirrors began to shift, and the cool Lou swaggered over, smirking. "You'll always be the goofy guy, Lou. You can't be cool like me. Cool is overrated." Lou countered, tossing an imaginary pair of sunglasses off his face. "I'd rather be the guy who makes people laugh than the guy who tries too hard to fit in." The tension in the air began to dissipate as Lou faced each version of himself with humor and authenticity. "I don't have to choose one identity. I can be a mixture of all of these parts," he proclaimed. "It's like being a buffet, why limit myself to just one dish?" The mirrors shimmered, reflecting his newfound understanding. As he embraced each identity, they began to dissolve, leaving behind a single clear mirror that reflected Lu in his truest form. No masks, no costumes, just Lu, a blend of all he had learned. "I am who I am, and that's perfectly fine," he declared, filled with pride. The crowd cheered, and the mirror faded away, leaving Lu standing tall. The final portal opened, and with a mix of excitement and apprehension, he stepped through to the last trial. He found himself in a tranquil clearing, surrounded by gentle light and a soft breeze that rustled the leaves overhead. The atmosphere was serene, almost ethereal, yet Lu could feel the weight of what was to come. "Welcome to the trial of acceptance," Master Zhao said, his voice calm and soothing. "Here, you will confront your ultimate fear, self-acceptance." In the center of the clearing stood a figure draped in a flowing robe, its features obscured by shadow. Lu felt a pull toward it, recognizing that this figure represented his ideal self, the version of him that had everything together. As he approached, the figure turned, revealing a face that looked remarkably like Lu's but exuded confidence and calm. "Why do you hide from me?" the figure asked, its voice echoing with gentle authority. I don't hide. I just don't think I measure up to you," Lu replied, a tremor in his voice. "You're everything I wish I could be." The figure shook its head. "You think you need to be perfect to be worthy. But perfection is a myth. You are already enough just as you are." "But I mess up all the time. I make jokes to cover my insecurities," Lu protested, feeling the familiar weight of self-doubt settle on his shoulders. "And that's okay," the figure replied gently. "Humor is a gift, a way to connect with others. Embrace your flaws, for they make you human. It's time to accept all parts of yourself, your jokes, your failures, your victories. They are all part of your journey." Lu took a deep breath, feeling the truth of those words resonate within him. "I've tried to fit into so many boxes, to be what others expect of me," he admitted, his voice cracking. "But I don't want to hide anymore." The figure stepped closer, extending a hand. "Then join me in accepting who you truly are. Together, we can shed the weight of expectation." With a hesitant but determined nod, Lu took the figure's hand, feeling warmth and light envelop him. As they stood together, he felt all the burdens lift, his insecurities, fears, and doubts dissipated like mist in the morning sun. "I accept myself, flaws and all," Lu proclaimed, a powerful sense of freedom flooding his being. "I am Lu, and I am enough." As the clearing filled with light, the figure smiled. "Now you see the beauty in your imperfections. Carry this acceptance with you, for it will guide you through life." The light enveloped Lu, and when it faded, he found himself standing back in the park where it had all begun. Master Zhao stood beside him, a knowing smile on his face. "You have completed the sevenfold soul trials, Lu. You have faced your fears, embraced your flaws, and accepted yourself. Remember, the journey doesn't end here, it continues every day of your life." Lu grinned, feeling a lightness in his chest that he had never known before. "Thank you, Master Zhao. This has been a wild ride." "Indeed," Master Zhao replied, a twinkle in his eye. "Now go forth and live your truth." As Lu walked away from the park, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was no longer just an office worker or a punchline, he was a complex, vibrant person with humor and depth. He could embrace his imperfections and celebrate his journey, and as he left, he accidentally tripped over his own feet, landing face first in a patch of grass. Lu let out a hearty laugh, realizing that life was a beautiful mess, and he was ready to embrace it all. With a light heart and a wide smile, he stood up, brushed himself off, and strolled into the sunset, ready for whatever adventures awaited him next. End of story.